Why don't we ever see hippos hiding in trees because they're really good at it? Just like how Shopee was really good at hiding its potential when it first launched. On the 12th day of the last month of 2015, a new player emerged in the e-commerce arena. Shopee, a small yet ambitious startup, was born under the umbrella of C Group. From day one, Shopee aimed to revolutionize how we shop online. It began its journey with a unique business model, focusing on providing a platform for individuals and businesses to sell directly to consumers. This approach was a breath of fresh air, setting Shopee apart from other e-commerce platforms that were predominantly business-to-consumer oriented. Shopee's foundation was built on the belief that shopping should be social and interactive. This was a game changer in the world of e-commerce, and it paved the way for Shopee's initial differentiation strategy. And just like a well-hidden hippo, Shopee was about to make a big splash in the e-commerce pond. Ever heard of the phrase, "from zero to hero"? Well, that's exactly what Shopee did. In the year 2016, merely a year after its inception, Shopee began its rapid expansion beyond Singapore's borders. It was a bold move, a gamble even, but Shopee was not a company to shy away from a challenge. The company set its sights on the broader Southeast Asian market, a region brimming with potential. It wasn't long before Shopee had established a presence in countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the magnitude of this expansion. We're talking about a company that, in the span of a year, went from being a small local e-commerce platform to a major player in several international markets. This was no small feat, and it marked a significant milestone in Shopee's journey. But Shopee wasn't content to simply exist in these new markets. The company set its sights on becoming the dominant force in Southeast Asian e-commerce. And boy, did they deliver. By 2019, just 3 years after their expansion, Shopee had become the top shopping app in the entire Southeast Asian region. Consider the competition they were up against. Giants of the e-commerce world, companies with deep pockets and extensive resources. And yet, Shopee managed to outperform them all. It was a testament to the company's innovative strategies, its understanding of local markets, and its relentless drive to succeed. From an unknown entity to the top shopping app in Southeast Asia, Shopee was on a roll. But you know what they say, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. Indeed, Shopee's race to the top wasn't without its fair share of hurdles, and these challenges began to mount in the year 2020. As the e-commerce landscape evolved, so did the complexity and intensity of the competition. New players entered the arena, each armed with innovative strategies and an insatiable thirst to claim a share of the market. The competition was no longer about who could offer the lowest prices, but who could provide the best customer experience. Shopee, once the proverbial David who took on the Goliaths, found itself in the crosshairs of these ambitious Davids. The company's strategy of focusing on discounts and freebies, which had worked so well in the past, began to show its limitations. Customers wanted more, better service, faster delivery, a wider range of products, and the competition was ready to provide. Then came the regulatory issues. As Shopee expanded its footprint across Southeast Asia, it had to navigate the complex and often conflicting regulations of different countries. Compliance became a tightrope walk, and missteps were costly. In one instance, Shopee found itself in hot water for violating advertising standards, a hiccup that cost them not just in terms of fines, but also reputation. The changing landscape of e-commerce also posed challenges. With the rise of social commerce and the integration of shopping into social media platforms, the battle for customers' attention became fiercer. Shopee had to constantly innovate to stay relevant, a task that required significant investment in technology and human resources. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, the global pandemic. While it initially boosted e-commerce, it also disrupted supply chains and created uncertainty, further complicating Shopee's operations. Despite its success, Shopee was not immune to the challenges of the e-commerce world. And then, the unthinkable happened. The year was 2021, a year that would forever be etched in the annals of Shopee's history, not for its triumphant victories, but as the starting point of a downward spiral. A significant drop in market share was the first sign that things were not as rosy as they appeared. From being the market leader, Shopee saw its dominance wane. It was as though the giant had stumbled, its invincibility shattered. Now, what led to this? One cannot pinpoint a single reason, but rather a series of unfortunate events and decisions that culminated in this downturn. Among them were strategic decisions that backfired. Shopee, in an attempt to diversify and expand its offerings, spread itself too thin. The focus shifted from core competencies, diluting the brand value and confusing the customers. Increased competition was another factor. E-commerce is a cutthroat industry, where new players emerge overnight, each one more innovative and aggressive. Competitors, sensing Shopee's vulnerability, seized the opportunity and began to chip away at its market share, offering better deals, superior customer service, and innovative products. Then there were the changes in consumer behavior. With the advent of new technology and increased digital literacy, customers became more discerning. They were no longer content with just any online shopping platform, they demanded excellence. And when Shopee failed to meet these rising expectations, they moved on, leaving the giant grappling with dwindling customer loyalty. It was a harsh reality to face for a company that had once reigned supreme. The fall was not immediate, nor was it spectacular. Instead, it was a slow, painful process like watching a ship slowly sinking. Shopee, once the darling of e-commerce, was now struggling to keep its head above water. In the blink of an eye, Shopee's reign came to a crashing end. As the calendar pages flipped to 2024, the once invincible Shopee found itself grappling with a series of unfortunate events that would eventually bring about its downfall. Financial struggles, loss of market share, and failed attempts to revive the business were now the order of the day for what was once the largest company in Singapore. The financial struggles were the first sign of impending trouble. Shopee, which had once been a profit-making machine, began to bleed money. A series of bad investments, coupled with a global market slowdown, saw the company's profits dwindle. The financial statements painted a grim picture, and the once robust balance sheet was now a shadow of its former self. The loss of market share was another blow to Shopee. Aggressive competition, changing consumer behavior, and a series of missteps on Shopee's part saw its market share shrink. Competitors took advantage of Shopee's misfortunes, and soon, Shopee's once dominant position in the market was a thing of the past. Despite the challenges, Shopee did not go down without a fight. The company launched several initiatives in a desperate attempt to turn the tide. New product launches, aggressive marketing campaigns, and strategic partnerships were all part of Shopee's revival plan. But it was too little too late. The damage had been done, and Shopee was unable to regain its lost ground. As the dust settled, the reality of Shopee's fall became evident. The company that had once been a shining beacon of Singapore's business landscape was now grappling with the harsh realities of business failure. It was a painful reminder that even the greatest can fall, and that success is never guaranteed. And just like that, the once mighty Shopee had fallen. But even in downfall, there are lessons to be learned. Shopee's story, despite its tragic end, imparts some invaluable business wisdom. One of the key lessons is the importance of adaptability. In a rapidly evolving digital landscape, Shopee's inability to pivot and adapt to new trends and consumer behaviors was its Achilles heel. Another takeaway is the peril of rapid expansion. Shopee's ambitious growth strategy, while initially successful, eventually led to its downfall. The company spread itself too thin, attempting to dominate multiple markets without solidifying its foothold in any. This diluted its resources and focus, ultimately leading to its downfall. Lastly, Shopee's fall underscores the need for strong leadership. When the ship started sinking, there was no captain at the helm to steer it to safety. A lack of clear direction and decisive action at the top can spell doom for any business, no matter how big or successful. So while Shopee's story may have ended in downfall, its legacy lives on as a cautionary tale for all businesses in the e-commerce world.